welcome to today's video. My name is Hannah. I'm glad you clicked on this. I hope you enjoy it and I hope you are doing well today. I want to show you how I take care of all my leather goods and my sweaters. I'm going to start out with shoes. I treat my shoes every 2 to 3 months depending on how they look. A lot of my shoes are leather. I find it holds up better. So I'm doing something a little different today. I'm using a Shine and Buff that I got my husband for his dress shoes. I'm doing this on this particular pair of boots because they are a couple months old, so I don't feel like they need any polish yet. Another thing I really like to do with my boots is I stuff them with packing material that I just get in random boxes. I find that it's a good way to reuse them and it helps them stand up straight and it keeps the shape of the boot really well intact, and I like that. I am aware you can buy shapers for your boots, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? It does make an awful mess though when I go to put on a boot because I've got like packing material and grocery bags and bubble wrap and tissue paper all over. But hey, again, it works. So now I'm going to work on my black high heels. I am going to use the polish on these. These shoes were an investment. I wear black high heels close to every single week. So that is the reason why I invested in this particular pair of shoes. I do have a confession to make. I have not actually shined my shoes or done anything with my purses in over 3 months. So I got married and then I moved and I became a mom, and let's be honest, sometimes these things get pushed off to the side. So what I am doing here is just adding a little bit of polish to the areas where I feel they are needed, not all over the shoe. And then I'm going in with this shiner and going over the shoes. I really like this shiner and I think it's going to become a staple part of my leather care routine. Really, really enjoyed the shine that it gives. Moving on to my purse now. I love this purse. I'm gonna look over and make sure there's no damage that I haven't seen before. Just kind of checking the bottom. Bottoms wear much faster. And it's stuffed. As you can see, I stuff my purses just like I stuff my boots. And I do this because I want my purse to keep its shape. I don't want it folding over on itself and creating weird wrinkles in the leather. I want it to stand up straight and keep its shape. So that's why I do that. As you can see, there's some dimples down at the bottom of the purse. This is just normal wear and tear on a purse. It's from the weight when you set it down, and you can't really do anything about that, right? I'm gonna just run over the purse with a damp cloth. This is an old tank top, as you can see. I keep things like that for moments like this because why not? I'm just gonna do this because it's a good thing to do. You don't wanna be buffing in any kind of dirt or spots that have gotten on your purse. So I run over the whole surface really quick. Again, it's damp, it's not wet. And then I'm going to start with my leather balm. This is an Angelus leather balm I bought at a local shoe shop. I've had like 3 bottles of this and I really do like it. I have used it in my car as well for my leather seats. But I am in the market for another leather balm. I want to give another one a try. So I'll let you guys know if I find one that's good. But if you're looking for a leather balm, this one's pretty good. If you can find it. I paid $6.95 for a little 4 fluid ounce bottle of it. It does last long. You just have to be careful how much you use. So I'm going to buff each surface I find. I don't buff the whole, or I don't apply the balm over the whole purse. I kind of go in sections. It helps me just control the process better. Now that I've placed the balm on these particular areas, I'm going to go over them with a clean, dry terry cloth and just buff all that away. You can tell the difference in the texture of the leather between what's been buffed and what hasn't. So I do that and make it all shiny. This stuff buffs out really well. So I'm gonna do something a little different that I've never done before. I'm gonna take this magical shiny sponge and I'm gonna go over my purses as well. I was super impressed with what it did to the shoes. I expected to do the same to the purses and I was not wrong. Really, really loving this shine. My goodness, shiny things are just the best, right? And when it's shiny leather, it just makes my heart happy. It's the small things in life, really. And you can see me just like running my hand over it. Such a weird thing to do, but it just feels so lovely, guys. It's like after you've washed your face and you've applied your serums, you're like, oh my goodness, my skin is just glowing. It's like brand new. That's how I feel after I have done all this to my leather purses. I do want to say that I treat the bottom of my purses a little bit more aggressively just because it wears the fastest. well, the bottom and the handles wear out the fastest. So now the purse is done, I'm gonna go get my dust bag and we're going to put it back all nice and tucked in, snug as a bug in a rug. So moving on, we're gonna go to the purse to the side. Now, this was my first ever leather purse. I bought it when I lived in Australia for around $150, $60. It was on sale at a place called Oxford. This purse has been through it with me. This purse is a trooper. I came back to the US and this was the only purse I had, so I used it predominantly for a year. And as we know, when you use something over and over again, it tends to wear out faster, but this purse has held up magnificently. So unfortunately, this purse has been sitting off to the side, collecting the most random stuff. Oh my goodness, I'm so ashamed. There's so much in it, and none of it makes sense. There's like broken coloring crowns, there's Legos. Again, mom life, oh my word, trying to get used to it. I find just weird stuff. Right now, I have zip ties in my purse because my son likes to link them together. It's a really great STEM activity, right? We were linking up sound equipment and we were zip tying all the cords and stuff together, and there was extra cords, and he just started like putting them together and creating shapes, and now it's like his favorite thing to do. So I have those in my purse. But as you can see, there's bobby pins. I found $5 in there, a Tootsie Roll, coloring crowns, broken coloring crowns, Legos, pens. Oh my goodness, just the amount of stuff. I could not believe it. I just could not believe it. Usually before I like package my purses, I guess you could say, stuff them, I try to wipe out the insides with the damp cloth as well. This particular purse, I actually took the vacuum too. Yes, I took the vacuum to the inside of my purse because it was that bad. Guys, I'm not proud. I am not proud, okay? I'm not proud. So there we go. My confession. But I cleaned it out, vacuumed it out, wiped it up. So there you go. So I want to show you guys something here. You see the sagging or the dimpling down at the bottom in this purse as well. It's worse in this purse because it has these side pockets, so there's not a lot of structure there, and the leather over the years with the weight of the purse has just kind of crinkled. I did place some tissue paper and stuff down in the bottom, but as you can see, it just hasn't been stiff enough. So I took some really stiff bubble wrap and I really crammed it down in there into those corners to help give it that structure it needs. You can still use the side pockets, they're just not as deep as they normally would be. But again, I have so much room in this purse, I don't really need the side pockets. Now, I'm a really big believer in doing all these little extra steps because I spent the money on this. I put in the investment on this purse. I want to keep it looking nice for as long as possible. I don't want my stuff looking aged or worn out. And again, it's quality versus quantity. And even if you are buying quality, there is still a part that you have to play in that to maintain that quality, right? So I'm gonna stuff it nice and fat, make sure it keeps its shape, and then we'll get to cleaning it up. So I'm going to show you guys, you can see the wear and tear on it a little bit. The handles especially, again, handles are probably the first or second thing to wear the fastest. You can see the bottom has some just wear and tear on it. It's not that bad. To me, I'm like, goodness, I need to fix this. But I took it to a leathersmith, I think that's what you would call him. And he told me, he said, really, there's nothing to do. He said, the purse is in excellent condition, even with the wear and tear on it. He said, that's normal, but I wouldn't recommend doing anything because it's not excessive. It's not bad. I have thought about actually dyeing this purse. You can get leather dyes. I've thought about doing that. I think I probably will, but I'm not set on a color. And when I do come to that decision, I will definitely be filming it because I think it's going to be a really, really cool thing to do. Okay, so now I'm going to be placing the shoulder strap inside the bag, tucking it in nice and neat, and then placing my purse in its duster bag. I'll clear everything off and we will get going on some sweater care. So to begin, we're going to get an iron, a lint roller, and some spray starch. Now, I'm not familiar with any other types of spray starches. This is the first one that I've ever tried, and I got mine at Walmart. Okay, so we have my black turtleneck sweater, which is one of my favorite pieces of clothing. We're going to start by getting our iron hot, and then I'm going to be pulling out my razor. Now, I use a single blade razor for this, and it's just a cheap Bic razor. Now, I know that they make depiling machines, but I prefer using this, especially for thinner fabrics. I feel like I have more control. I can do a better job, per se. So that is what I use. I'm going to invest in one of the depiling machines later on for thicker knits, because I've learned that using a single blade razor on a thicker knit does not really work as well as I would like it to. First, I'm going to lint roll my sweater because I washed it with something that was apparently shedding excessively. Then what I do is I pull my fabric taunt and I go over in small sections and then lint roll that section to get rid of the excess fabric. Not excess fabric. Oh, that sounds horrible. The fuzz. We're getting rid of the fuzz, not the fabric. Heaven forbid. Now, you want to pull very taut and be very, very careful you don't hit any kind of wrinkles in the fabric, because it will cause cuts and potentially rip open your fabric. So be very, very careful. Okay, so thankfully this sweater did not need a lot of razoring. I just hit the high friction areas, and then I'm going to lint roll it really, really well before I start to starch. Okay, so I'm going to lint roll this sweater before I actually start to spray the starch on. Now, when I spray the starch on, I will go in small sections and then run the warm iron over those sections. It's probably around this time you're wondering, why in the world does she do this? It seems very excessive. And I will not disagree with you there. I actually got this idea from an ex-boyfriend. He had bought this gray Calvin Klein sweater when he was like 16, 17 maybe. And I remember seeing this sweater when we were in our 20s. It was hanging in his closet. And I thought, oh my goodness, is that the same sweater? And so I asked him, and he said, yeah, it was the same sweater. And I was just blown away because it looked brand new. It looked like he had never worn it. It looked like he had never washed it. It was pristine. And so I asked him, I said, how in the world have you kept this looking so nice? Because that's impossible, I feel like, to do with the sweater material. And he told me that he had starched it. And I had really never considered starching sweaters or any type of clothing up until that point. So I started doing this because I want to be more sustainable with my clothes. I want to make better choices. I don't want to be buying stuff all the time. And I want to care for the items that I have that I love. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, follow along. I will be uploading every Tuesdays and Fridays. Bye!